Previously on the Apprentice Asia,
Go test your cars.
the teams were tasked to create a live commercial for the newest Volkswagen Beetle.
I've never won as project manager before, so that's something I really, honest to God, want to overcome. I like that.
Determined to change his luck, Sam gambled on a risky concept.
So the idea is we're going to reenact the whole Apprentice thing.
But Alexis, his only teammate, had some doubts.
I felt that we needed to stay simple. I think it's risky to come with a concept that doesn't necessarily fit the theme.
Hi guys.
Over at Team Mavericks, it was a seemingly smooth ride with Andrea in the driver's seat.
Don't even think about it.
The moment we crystallized the script, the three of us felt that this is really a good concept.
Sue! You qualify. Beetle up.
However, Sam's risky concept finally paid off.
Volkswagen executives felt that Team Apex ultimately had a more memorable concept. Team Apex, you have won.
Back in the boardroom, Team Mavericks were forced to go head-to-head.
Because Jonathan was the director, I will place some responsibility on him.
She has a tendency to be negative sometimes in her outlook.
Passion doesn't always have to translate being aggressive. I am not here on a holiday. I've given up so much to be here.
But in the end, it was Diane's journey that came to a screeching halt.
I just didn't see enough. Diane, you're fired.
All right, Mr. Jonathan and Andrea. All right, no surprises.
Welcome back.
Congrats, man. So how did it go? Like, was it a quick one?
It felt quick to me. Like, he was just like, okay, each of you plead your case. It was one of those things.
Probably this is the boardroom we're in. It was more about personality. I wasn't really surprised that Mr. Fernandez was gunning for personality, and I think he wants to know if the person will survive in his company based on the culture that he has.
So all's well, that ends well. We're the final four. Let's celebrate, everyone.
I'm very glad, obviously, to make it to the top four. I think I've exceeded my own expectations of myself, and that's what makes me the happiest.
Yeah, man. Boom!
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mr. Fernandez.
So we're down to the final four. One of you will become my apprentice. So no more teams, each for their own now. Before we get to the final task, I want to put you through a series of interviews with three of my trusted associates. These are time whose opinions I value greatly.
Oh, man. I'm nervous because I know already that I'm not good at interviews, and I don't want this to be my Achilles heel.
I told you at the start this was going to be the most challenging job interview of your life. There is no easy ride to victory or success. You must be prepared to answer direct questions about your resume and character. By the end of it, only two of you will move on to compete for that one job as my apprentice. The other two will be fired. Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. This is the biggest interview of my life. I really hope Mr. Fernandez sees in me the qualities that he is looking for the apprentice. I've never wanted something so bad in my life, but this.
I really struggled hard all throughout the process, put in my hard work and efforts, so I want to definitely win the competition.
Well, I don't really know where I stand, but all I know is that, you know, like this, I don't give up, and I will not give up for this job.
Resumes scrutinized. Job applications assessed. It's time for our candidates to face 3 of Mr. Fernandez's toughest business associates. And the brief, show no mercy. Stuart Dean, long-standing business associate of Mr. Fernandez. His job today, seek out the best candidate for the boss himself.
Sam, you describe yourself as choleric and phlegmatic. What the heck does that mean?
Meaning I'm by nature, I'm an quote-unquote a little bit of an introvert. More of a thought process leader.
That's more like a single contributor kind of role.
The no-nonsense Irene Omar, CEO of Air Asia.
Good afternoon.
She herself was an apprentice and knows exactly what it takes to get to the top.
I see in one of your questionnaire, you actually said that you see yourself running Air Asia. And it seems like at 27 years old, you're potentially looking at taking my place. So how do you think you can do better?
I've got lots of out-of-the-box thinking and innovative skills as far as giving more value.
Can you give me an example?
The seats are made in a way that people are almost standing up, but they're not really sitting down. I think the traditional conventional seats like this is something that people have always taken for granted.
CEO of Westports Malaysia, Ruben Gunalingam is one of Malaysia's most prominent businessmen.
Good afternoon.
Today, he will dig deep and dig hard.
Andrea, so you mentioned here that you sometimes very standoffish and dismissive of people's views.
Well, sir, there are parts of my personality which are harder.
What makes you stand out more than them then?
Well, sir, in that case, what I think sets me apart from all these other contestants is the fact that I am hungry for this and I have the drive for this, sir.
Are you saying they're not hungry?
They're not as hungry as me, sir.
They're not as hungry as you?
No.
None of those guys are as hungry as you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Hey, how was yours?
Hi.
Oh.
Well, you know I don't like interviews, so whatever. Yeah, Gunalingam, he's tough.
Tough, is it?
Right after my first interview, I came out feeling absolutely battered. Mr. Gunalingam is not my biggest fan at this point.
You were quoted, money attracts money. What do you mean by that?
It's the same that success attracts success. You know, the more you generate, more opportunities comes. You know.
And so the most important measurement is money.
No, not necessarily. You know, it was a.
I think you just equated money with success.
No. When I meant, like, when I say money is as well, the more money you're making, the more reinvestment you can make, the more cash flow you have.
I know how the business model works, but I find that most people don't get turned on by money.
Maverick, did you thought of that name?
That's correct.
For the team?
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Yes.
You consider yourself a maverick too?
Yes.
But you have been working in the same company since you first started, since you graduated from MBA, am I right?
Right.
So how do you consider yourself a maverick?
My definition of maverick is somebody who does something different, either some new crazy stuff in a process.
But shouldn't you think, as someone who deserves to be called a maverick, as someone who has done something out of the ordinary that the whole world actually is attracted to or is drawn into?
I believe this apprentice is truly my maverick moment. After I become apprentice for Tony, all I'm saying is everything I take up will be maverick. Everything will be different. I would love to be the guy whom Tony, sitting in a boardroom and he has to make a decision. He just sort of turns back and I say, okay, go for it or don't go for it.
But that's not about being maverick. That's more about doing something that Tony expects you to do because he hired you.
So, Jonathan, I've just been going through your CV. Right? So you've now managed 3 people.
Yes, sir.
So you managed 3 people, and you have a sales target of $420,000 US, and you want to run a billion-dollar company?
I don't see that the amount of money should be a challenge to anyone who's running a company. It's all about management of risks.
I agree, but you want to run the company.
Yes, sir.
That's why you stay here. You want to run AirAsia.
Yes, sir. I think, sir, any ambition is always matched with the resources that you have. And I think AirAsia is a very well-equipped company as far as resources are concerned, even if it may be...
Don't you think they will have resources which are more equipped than you are? Firstly, you don't have that civil aviation background.
Definitely.
And it's unlikely that Tony will be able to put you as some kind of one of those roles. So I think you were not realistic in you picking, suggesting what you could be able to run.
Definitely, sir.
Right. So you're not ready now to run something like that?
Definitely no, sir.
Right.
Yes.
But what if you need somebody with experience, then you're not the right person for the job, are you?
I think, sir, that's the logical thing to say. But in that case, in any company, you will always have the right spot as long as you show your skills and as long as you're ready
in this process, there's only one spot, so...
So why did you want to become a lawyer?
Words, like since I was young, I've been really good at English and just words in general, and I like talking. And so when I saw that, I was like, yeah, if you can get paid to do that, that would be great.
Yeah. Do you think you really thought through the decision well enough?
You know, since that point, everything I did was completely geared towards being a lawyer. And the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. So definitely, it wasn't just something... It got started at 8, but definitely grew over the years.
So you love it?
I do.
So why would you move out of it?
I would move out of it because I feel, and this may sound a bit presumptuous of me, but I feel that I'm meant to do much more than just sitting in an office.
How's it?
Better than the first one.
Okay.
As long as I'm improving. Mr. Dean, I think he has quite a good impression of me, and I spoke with a lot of passion in the interview, I think, and I'm very sure that he saw something there today.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon. From what I see here, you spend most of the time in Asia. Naturally, if you do win this competition, you will be working in one of Tony's businesses. So how you feel you can fit into his businesses, and what is it that you want to do?
First of all, I'm very confident that I would be successful in his organization, and I think that I have the right balance between entrepreneurial spirit, but as well corporate and big organization spirit.
You haven't really answered my question just now, as in what sort of position that you want to do.
My priority will be AirAsia. Why? Because I'm somebody that of course.
Because it's a more established brand than any of the other companies. Is that what it is?
No, it's the ambition. It's all about the ambition.
But his other companies has got big ambitions too, and if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, then maybe that's what you should be aiming for.
Well, I'm very versatile. Just ask me, and I will feel 100% comfortable to go on any project. Why? Because my goal is to have Mr. Fernandez, bring me to the next level. I handle everything about business, from the finance side to the marketing to the logistics to the HR, everything. And I'm 100% this. I'm a team player and I'm a leader.
You sound very cocky to me.
Switch channels. I handle everything about business, from the finance side to the marketing to the logistics to the HR, everything. And I'm 100% this. I'm a team player and I'm a leader.
You sound very cocky to me. The most important thing about business, as what Tony has successfully been doing, is humility. We hate arrogance. Yeah, we think arrogance could just kill a company just like that. So that's something that you need to watch out.
Hey. How's the AirAsia?
Somebody's feeling good?
Wow, she came at me like... She really tried to challenge me.
I'm not an arrogant person. You ask me a question, I'll answer to it, and there's no arrogance to it.
My name is Sam Rufus.
Hi, sir. Please sit down. So, 13 years in one company.
Yes.
You could be potentially earning less than what you're earning now.
There is a possibility, yes.
And
but
you're willing to take that risk?
I'm willing to take the risk.
Your family?
I'm blessed to have a wife who's saying, we need to make our children global citizens. You've been long enough in Hyderabad, India. I think you need to, as a future CEO...
You might not be able to move your family.
There is a possibility.
And you're willing to leave all that behind?
I'm willing to leave all that behind. In fact, wherever possible, she's willing to travel.
One thing you state here is the biggest mistake that you made is actually not spending more time with your family. Say the job is not a CEO. What would you going to do then?
because I will ask him definitely in terms of the career path to the CEO.
So if Tony says this is your job now, and the career path, we'll see what happens as we go along, what are you going to say to him then?
No, you're putting it.
Yeah, I need to know.
Yes, no, the situation you're putting in may not probably end like that. I'm thinking it might
I'm saying
end.
if it does.
I'm saying I'm hopeful and optimistic.
I don't care what you're hopeful of. I'm asking you what happens when that happens.
All I'm saying is I will ask for a career path. I will ask for.
And if he says, let's see how it goes.
I will say sure. I mean, let's give it a shot. I mean, let's go for it.
You're going to give a shot to something which you're going to earn less money, lower position,
because of the higher rewards.
And leave your family behind for something which may have higher rewards in the end. It just doesn't seem logical, does it?
You're painting a very hypothetical picture, sir. That's the thing. So
that's my job, to paint a hypothetical picture, to see how you come out of it.
Hey, that was a big size, man.
This was the toughest one, man.
Yeah, right? Yanalingam, I told you.
The questions were really tough, very probing questions, but I felt overall it was very easy because I wasn't faking it. I was being true to myself, true to what I've already done, and true to who I am. So, to me, it was easy.
So that means you're 3 for 3. You finished?
You're done.
I'm
He's
done. I'm done.
Are you done as well?
I'm gonna go to Stuart.
He's about to go see
Dean.
Stuart. He's awesome. He lets you say what you need to say, and he listens to what you're saying. I felt so with myself with him.
All right, guys, I'm off to my last interview.
End it well, babe.
All right.
Come on in.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dean.
Hi. So I was looking through your application. You mentioned that you served as a management trainee and made a fatal mistake that made you cry. But I also read that you become too emotional when a plan doesn't work.
Definitely, sir. Emotional doesn't mean that, you have to cry out loud or lambast other people. I think there are times when it's okay to actually show some sort of emotions, to let it all out. After all, we're all humans.
When you're working with your team, though, do you think they have to kind of walk on eggshells, your emotional nature?
I don't think so, sir.
Clearly, you're very comfortable in the space you're in today.
Yes, sir.
And you're very successful there. But I'm not convinced you can be successful outside that industry, outside your country, in a very different corporate.
If there's one thing that I'll be proud of to say, sir, I am a very self-made man. I was born with very humble roots. We had nothing. The fact that you don't have any resources at all, the fact that you don't have any experience at all in making it big, that I did that, is something that I want to prove that even if you put me in another country, in another culture, another setting, I'm going to deal with it and I'm going to be the #1.
You're raising your voice. Yeah, I think you're getting a little emotional now.
How did it go?
It's different from what you said.
Really?
Andrea told me, like, this is going to be your favorite or something. Or maybe I just had set an expectation based on he was the nicer guy versus the two.
So you're willing to let go of your legal background and just join any of the companies that Tony has?
I'm willing to leave my job as a lawyer, but in terms of my legal background, Irene, I do think it will serve me very well.
So how would you do it differently that perhaps that we can try and build, Air Asia into a larger airline than what it is today?
Well, that's a tough question, especially since I don't have the sales and marketing background. But I would definitely start from the ground.
But that means that we have to train you, isn't it?
So, Alex, of all Tony's companies, which one do you think you fit in the most?
I'll probably say that I'll like to be with Air Asia.
Why Air Asia?
Because Air Asia, it's all about people. They're trying to really get to the masses and really trying to develop as well. But what I do is branding, What I do is taking a product, creating a whole plan for it.
Do you think you have enough experience to help out in Air Asia?
Oh, 100%.
Are you saying that their branding and marketing is not very good now?
No, I think the branding is good,
So how could you add value? Because I think they're doing a good job in terms of brand marketing over there. So
yes, exactly.
I'm not sure how you could add value to that.
For me, where I bring value is especially business development, and I know that
business development. Can you specify more clearly what you mean by that with regards to Asia?
With regard to Asia, is for example developing China. I think China is one big goal of his and one big objective.
You want to get him landing rights in China?
I want to expand his business and help him to expand his business in China.
I think what he needs is landing rights. Are you going to get him?
I think what he needs is people based in China to be able to, number one, get running rights, but as well develop the brand, because the AirAsia brand is not very developed in China.
All you talk about is branding and marketing, so that's all I hear.
And no, like branding, marketing, but sales as well. Like I have really strong sales skills, negotiation skills. I think this is very important. And as well, I have I believe my number one asset is people skill. And I really don't want to come across arrogant saying this, but I'm a great profile for this position.
All right.
Done, yeah. But it was very interesting as well.
Anyway, man, the interviews got over and everybody did reasonably well, so
reasonably well.
All the best.
Done. Now it's
go. It's not up to us anymore, right?
Yeah. Yes. We've done our best.
It's not easy though.
The fact that two people are going to be fired, it's very, very bittersweet for me, because it's weird how much I respect and care about these people at this point. I mean, they're tough competition, but I do think I stand a chance against each of them.
I gave everything that I had. I don't know if I really did a great job or not. All I'm satisfied is that I did my best, and at the end, if I still have a chance fighting for my life, I'll fight 400%.
I definitely feel more confident because I have a holistic experience. So from that perspective, I feel extremely confident that I will win the competition.
I really hope I make it, because I want to prove to Mr. Fernandez that the real me is the real apprentice.
To be my apprentice, you need a high level of business acumen, and that includes managing risk, often under tremendous pressure.
To win today's task, discipline is key.
Teams, this is a very challenging task.
This is where the hard work is really going to start.
The Daryl Guppy Championship technique, eyeball just went, wow, this is cool.
Go with the advice of what the experts say.
Meeting with the expert, Chris Weston, I was a bit confused. We have all this information, which one shall we decipher?
Sam and Selena came at the challenge very well, actually, to be honest. They came to me with a strategy already in place, with good insight.
Do you think Nazrul managed the project well?
No, not so sure I saw as much leadership from Nash as I would have liked.
I felt that at certain times of the day, I was the one making the call.
You keep saying that they're doing it and you're not doing it. You're saying you're doing it and they're not doing it. You're fired.
Good evening.
Hi, Tony.
Good evening.
Hey, Tony. Your opinions mean a lot to me. Just to let you know why I chose the three of you. You've each dealt with me in different ways. Stu, you've known me from the beginning when we started with 2 planes. So I think you know AirAsia intimately from a supplier's point of view. Ruben, you're my partner in our favorite football club, Queen's Park Rangers. And Irene, in many ways, you would know what it's like, starting at a different place and now rising to the pinnacle of AirAsia. So let's get to it. Stu, what did you think of Alexis?
I was impressed with how he's acclimated in Asia. I think China is an exceptionally difficult market. My concerns were a little bit what his motivation was. I thought he was primarily motivated by money. He thought your #1 goal was to be the biggest airline in the world. What I like about the AirAsia mission is you're helping people to fly for the first time. I think it's important to understand the mission if you're going to be able to contribute to the organization you're moving to.
Ruben, what were your views?
I think the blend of energy and experience, he has the best blend of both. He answers in a very textbook manner. He has all the answers.
You think it's fluff?
I think all 4 of them have fluff, to be really honest.
Right.
If you ask me, the most genuine was actually Andrea. And although I felt Alexis was the best candidate, I actually found his interview the most boring interview of all. I could not get a sense of feeling of his personality.
So, Irene, I saw a little bit of a smirk on your face. Do you think he was bought over by his branding?
Right, the way he looks, maybe.
The way he looks?
The baby blues?
Yeah, I find Alex is the weakest, really, because I think when he explains things, it's all too general. It's mostly fluff, and when I ask the question deeper, he doesn't seem to be able to explain it well. And I don't think he understands the market, Asian market, as well as he thinks he does. What is the biggest market you think in Southeast Asia has got the biggest potential?
China.
I said Southeast Asia.
In Southeast Asia? Well, I would say, I mean, just because I'm linked as well with airports, I'll say Singapore.
Singapore has got the biggest market, you think? I think if he does join AirAsia, which he says he really wants to, he would probably be quite distracted with the flight attendant.
I think so.
Yeah.
Irene, I wouldn't mind hearing your views on Sam.
I think he's quite analytical, and it's something that could complement with what we have right now in AirAsia. And he seems to think by joining Apprentice, he is already a maverick, which is something a bit strange to me.
What do you mean by he wanted to be a maverick?
I think he wants to be like you. That's what he meant, basically.
So I'm defined as a maverick.
He wrote a song called The Maverick.
Did he?
Yeah, and I asked him, if you really want to be in Tony's Apprentice, you have to sing the song for me.
What's the point of one straight line?
Just kidding, please go. Thanks.
Sir, thank you.
But no, I don't actually think he's a maverick. I think of the four candidates, he's probably the least maverick of the four.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, saying that, you know, he's got the most experience, there's no doubt. If you need someone very senior with experience, he probably is your man. And he's got a good job, so, you know, is he really willing to give all of that up? And that's why I just couldn't understand.
Would that be deemed maverick, to throw it all up and try something new?
I think it'd be the first maverick thing he's done, so...
Stu?
I think this is a guy who can contribute better than the other three right out of the box for you. This guy's got a very successful track record of getting these big operations up and running.
Wow, this guy's ready to throw in all his years' experience. Is it for the right reason? Is he coming here for the glamour, for the association of being with me as we enter AirAsia India? What do you think, Kat?
I believe, number one, he is a huge fan of you, to the point I think he's a bit of a groupie. And I think he may frustrate you because it's hard to change. He goes round and round.
Mark, what do you think?
I think he knows everything about you, and he is literally trying to live his life through you. But I take my hat off to him. He's really going for it.
Okay, could I just add one thing?
Yeah.
Sorry. All the other candidates knew a lot more about you and your businesses than he did. He knew all about AirAsia, but not about the rest.
Yeah, that's a good point. This is not necessarily to be the apprentice in AirAsia. I haven't made my own mind up, and it would depend on the candidate, and I might throw it to them. Let's go on to Andrea. Irene.
I find her very smart. She's quick thinking, but she keeps saying that she wants to be the apprentice because she wants to learn a lot. And I told her it would be a big risk for the company or to Tony to hire you just because we want to teach you as much as we can.
Stu, can she be taught?
Absolutely. I would hire her today, but she's not going to contribute in day one, month one, year one. But she, over a course of a career, she could be huge, a superstar.
Would she stay?
I think in an organization like AirAsia, absolutely.
Ruben, your points.
Well, going back to what you just asked, would she stay? And that's the part I have difficulty over. So you say you have a day job.
I'm a lawyer by profession.
So why don't you want to be a lawyer anymore?
Well, sir, what happened is law, as what I imagined, is very different than what it was in practice.
But you wanted to be a lawyer your whole life since you were, what, 8 years old?
Since I was 8, sir.
It's so easy for you to give up something you worked so hard for 18 years for. That's why I'm wondering how easy it'd be for you to give up this. Well, I don't know how exciting this job is going to be for her, and if she finds that, oh, there's too much paperwork and shuffling in after becoming an apprentice, is she going to be like, oh, I can't do this anymore, and I don't know if she'll stay on that basis. On her own, I would say, yes, why not? Let's give her a try. But when you have these other candidates to compare against, it's like, why take the risk with her when you have other candidates who can also learn, who also have more experience, where the gap is smaller.
I had zero experience in the airline business. Honestly, I don't care whether she's got experience or no experience. It's whether she has the aptitude and the willingness to learn. In terms of Jonathan, Stu, where did you put him?
I liked him. You know, smart guy, successful track record.
For me, I thought he was very bright, had a lot of energy. And as I said earlier, he's probably the easiest to mold if that's what you're looking for. And he's always met his sales targets. He's an outstanding performer in his company. And I think one of the things he suggested was he should be the CEO of Air Asia.
I mean, you want to be CEO of Air Asia now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd echo Ruben's point on his enthusiasm. When I asked him about the opportunity of moving to Air Asia, he said it would be orgasmic.
I love challenges. They're all like puzzles to me. And it's such an orgasmic experience every time I feel that I've overcome these things.
An orgasmic experience.
I can't think of any other...
I love business, but it's not orgasmic for me.
Is he real?
He didn't convince me.
Irene, is he being real?
I think so. I think he's very determined, and I think he's a type of person who would just go on and try his best to get whatever that needs to be done, even though he may fail a few times. He will persevere.
Do you think people will like him in Air Asia?
I think so. He's quite pleasant. I think so.
I don't see him smile too much. He's
very intense.
He's very intense, right?
So you don't want the one time Sam smiles either, so that's pretty intense as well. So.
The extreme. I think he will get the respect from the other staff in any of your companies.
I agree. I think culture-wise, he's probably the best fit.
Right. If we say we're heading towards Air Asia as a business, if we say that it's got to be a people person, someone who can actually do a bit of follow-up, I certainly would appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do you think I made up my mind?
I think you know who you want.
No.
I think depending on what they say.
Can you please send the 4 candidates in?
Yes, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez is ready to see you in the boardroom now.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Fernandez.
Just to clarify, today 2 of you will be fired and 2 will be left for the final task. Are you nervous, Sam?
No, sir.
Not nervous at all?
No.
Because you're confident you're going to get through?
Best things come to those who wait, and you do your best, and things will work out fine.
Okay. Alexis, are you nervous?
A little bit, sir. I mean, there's a lot of things at stake here. I don't usually get nervous, but I must say that today I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay. How do you think you handled interviews, Jonathan?
You mentioned, sir, in the last boardroom that you were missing the real Jonathan. And that was my strategy getting to the interview. No inhibitions, no walls. And I think it brought out the best in me.
Okay. Sam?
To me, the interviews went really good because it wasn't all about the 9 previous tasks. It was all about your entire career and you as a person.
Andrea?
Well, sir, it felt like a bit of an uphill battle for me. I knew the obvious thing I would be attacked on is my youth, and I really had to pour everything into convincing them as to why I should be given a chance.
So it was tough?
Yes, it was.
That's an honest answer. Alexis, you made the right impression?
Well, to be honest, sir, I think 2 went fairly well, and 1 I got really challenged. I got challenged on my experience, which I'm very proud of, and I'm not too sure what impression I left. I tried to be as honest as possible.
What do you think Irene thought of you?
I think Irene thought that I was confident and maybe overconfident, and that she was not sure if I could adapt in Asia.
Where do you see yourself fitting in my business?
I would say that I'll be very pleased to be part of, you know, like the growing market China.
Can you answer me in Mandarin?
肯定没关系。我的第一个目标是肯定是那个中国市场。我觉得 like 肯定潜力很大。如果我可以选择，肯定是那个 Asia 中国。
Sam, you've been in one company for most of your life.
Yes.
You've been in one city for most of your life.
Right.
Do you think you can fit in?
Oh, absolutely. I had the privilege of working with the AirAsia folks for that.
Name me a couple of staff.
Oh, you stumped me, sir.
Know anybody? Remember anybody?
No, you stumped me, sir. Good one.
Alexis, do you remember anybody?
Irene.
Irene. Doesn't count. You just saw her. Jonathan, which person impressed you the most in AirAsia?
Miss Irene, sir.
Andrea.
I remember the 5 models, Mark, Nahija, Sophia, Rosita, and Victor. They were our 5 models, actually, during the show.
Who was the prettiest girl?
Prettiest girl, I think, was Sophia.
Sophia. I'm afraid she stumped you all, guys. I'm about people. I have 10,000 people in my company. I know all of them. You all talk about people, culture, you like that, you want to do that, etc. Bullshit. You were panicking like Jonathan, like I cannot remember anybody. Today I'm going to peel away all those layers. Because I'm going to find out by the end of this who's true and who's not. You know, Andrea has little experience. But I'm proud that you knew who the people were.
Yes, sir. I am a people person, contrary to all that's been said.
I'm not 100% sure, but you certainly moved that in the right direction today. These guys say all the right things, but they didn't know anybody after 1.5 days. Right. That's what Irene said about you, Alexis.
Yes, sir.
He's on surface, superficial, and quite general in his answer. Feels he's bluffing his way through using his charm. Lacks analytical skills and doesn't have much substance. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I disagree, sir. I mean, you know, I really think that, you know, like especially in my line of work or even through the process, you know, I've shown like great versatility and I've shown, you know, an eye for detail as well, sir. I know that with Irene, she challenged me a lot on my people skill, and I strongly, and I'll stand by my grounds, that this is my #1 asset, you know. And I think.
Why didn't you know anyone in AirAsia?
I mean, to be honest, sir, like I didn't remember the name of the models.
Well, not to be honest, you didn't.
Yeah.
Why?
So,
if you are strong at people skills, you would have known that. Mark, what do you think? Does he have substance?
Over the last several tasks, I've learned so much more about everybody here, Sam, Jonathan, Andrea. The one person I haven't really gotten down to it, primarily because you don't show it, is Alexis. I don't know enough about you.
It's very inaccurate what you know has been said about me. You know, I think I'm all about relationship, and I think as well I've proven that in the process. I've proven that it's not just about me, that I have no substance. I've made other people better. I've made people shine. I didn't always try to grab that light.
No one's saying you're not a team player. What people are saying is there's no depth, and that you have to convince me.
I'm sorry, sir, but this is very untrue. I mean, substance is about, you know, like depth. It's about how much as well you can discuss with people and how you can adapt. And I can talk to anybody. So I handle more than 15 markets just in my line of work. And it's about being able to, you know, like adapt yourself to the people, to the situation, to who you're talking to. And I think I've been really good at that.
Andrea, everyone felt you were inexperienced. You were right, 100%. All of them came back and said you would be nuts to hire Andrea. As my apprentice, you will be in a very powerful position, but you can influence lots of things. How you manage that power is also important.
When I went to the Mavericks, I think I made that difference to them, sir. And how I did it was I got them to understand that it does begin with people. I sat everybody down and said, let's eat and let's talk and let's get to know each other, because if you don't do this, you're going to keep losing, and I do not want that, not when I'm PM.
You've managed 3 incompetent, smart people. Give me the confidence that you can manage hundreds and then thousands.
I know there's been doubts raised about, am I too hard and things like that. But sir, that's not true. The fact that I managed to turn the Mavericks around, I think it says a lot about me.
Did she turn you around from a losing team to a winning team? Why would I hire any of you 3? Might as well hire her now.
No, sir. I think I can do the same as well, and I think
You didn't.
I think Andrea, from a third-party perspective, saw something different, sir, and she took that opportunity.
It's a rubbish answer, Jonathan.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I still believe we have won the task, even if Andrea was not in the team. I feel like, you know...
Do you think they would have?
With respect, sir, no, because I would be on the girls' team and I would have contributed whatever I did to that team, to Apex, and Apex would have won.
There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad. There's a lot of things that disappointed me today, actually. So I'm going to give you one last shot. Who wants to go first?
I've lived in 6 different countries, sir. I've traveled all around the world. I've been in Asia for almost 9 years now. I don't care like which culture, I can adapt to anybody, and this is why I always say I'm international profile, sir. And throughout this process, what I really want to insist as well is that I've shown that I'm versatile. I've shown that I have the energy, and I respectfully say and believe that I'm the best negotiator and salesperson in this room. What is very important is that you need to inspire people, and you need to have respect from people. And my leadership skill, sir, is that not only am I focused on results, but as well, I inspire people and I make sure that I've proven that to them, and this is why as well they're giving me this respect. So I really hope that, you know, you see that in me, you see that at no point did I try to cheat, at no point did I try to give like fake answers. Everything I've seen in this boardroom, everything, sir, I've proven on the field. Everything.
Andrea.
Sir, I think it's easy for everyone to sit there and attack me on being young and being inexperienced. All the more, I'm a stronger candidate than all of them because of my youth. And here's why. Because I've made it to this stage, sir, in spite of all that is counting against me right now. In spite of my inexperience, in spite of my youth, I have shown that I can compete with the best. And even though I may have a narrow field of experience, and I won't lie about that, on 8 different things that we've done that have nothing to do with anything I formally studied, I've done it well, sir. And I'm not here to ask you for this opportunity so that you can sponsor my education and sponsor all my learning. Ultimately, being the apprentice is someone that you are interested in grooming. And I really think, in terms of latent potential, I've got the most of these guys here, and that I will give back to you many, many times more than they can, because there's just so much more potential that you can use, sir. And I truly, truly believe that.
Sam, give me a sense of your leadership. I don't feel you have it.
Sir, I believe leadership is just one word. Leadership is influence. And you influence them by your passion. How do you influence them by your passion? By having a very, very clear vision of what you want to accomplish.
I don't see your passion.
Sir, different people express passion in different ways. I don't necessarily have to scream and shout to sort of, you know, make my point. I'm a different demographic
Scream and
as
shout.
well.
You might have to sometimes. What do you think? You can't do it?
No, I definitely can. So I truly believe it's all about influence. It's all about influencing your people by building those strategic relationships, by communicating a clear vision with passion. And that's how you go about the whole thing.
Jonathan.
If I have to say something real about myself, I'm pretty much a self-made man. I went through preparatory school down to college, all through scholarship, sir. And I'm saying these things not because I want to ask for your pity, but I'm saying these things because...
Say it to me.
I made it big, sir, without anything else. And that's something I'm very proud of. And I know, sir, that you like those people. People who had nothing in their life, but they made it big. And I think the reason why you should take me as your apprentice is because despite all the other 3 contestants in this pool, if you look into my eyes, I have the most burning eyes in terms of passion. Because I know, sir, that I can make it big for you. When flag pin, it's not because I'm too nationalistic. It's because I want to serve that inspiration to the rest of my country that there is hope. That I represent that hope in them, sir. That despite you may be from poor beginnings and all these things, you can make it big. I know that you think that I'm one of the best in this pool. And I beg, sir, that I deserve to be in that final 2, and I deserve to be your apprentice.
Alexis, you've impressed me the most during this 8 tasks. I have serious doubts today. I love the way you smiled when I talked about my job. I love to see the passion. I'm not sure it was passion or money or success. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure you understand Asia as well as you think you do. Andrea, you're clearly the least experienced. You don't know business either, and there are some managerial issues. Jonathan, I'm not sure I've seen the true you. You say all the right things, you're a great package, but you are a bit of a control freak as well. And I'm not sure whether you can lead people and be patient with people. Sam, I think you're too overconfident sometimes. You know, I'm not sure about your leadership skills. I want you to feel nervous. I'm nervous every football game. I'm nervous every decision. Because that's passion. Okay. I need a second. You stay all here.
Switch channels and you'll be fired. Keep it here on AXN.
Okay. I need a second. You stay all here. Sam, you're fired. This one. Well, it's down to 3. One more will go. I want to explain to you why I fired Sam. It's because he was too analytical. I want people who can think on their feet and make decisions quickly. I also didn't think he would inspire anyone. It irritated me that he came in and he was quite nonchalant about it and not nervous. You 3 are good candidates. You 3 do deserve to be in the final. But I can only take 2. We've done the talking. We've done the analysis. And I have to also think about my company, because you've all made it clear you'd like to work in AirAsia. And I have to think which people will bring the most value to my company. With that in mind, I've decided that, Alexis, you're fired. You're fired because I wasn't convinced of your motives of wanting to be my apprentice. I wasn't sure whether this was a stepping stone to something else. But you're a top-class person. You will succeed in whatever you do.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mark and Kat. Thank you very much. Congrats, guys.
I feel I have the best too. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And now you two have to shine. Go back, celebrate, enjoy yourself. You've earned your seat at my final table, where one of you will be hired. Good night, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Mark.
I think the money would have been that I'd gone with one experience and one youth. This side of the house had more energy, more drive, more passion.
I personally think I don't deserve to get fired. I think what really happened in the boardroom was the emotional appeal and tug at the heart won over content, matter, career. So I think the person who could elucidate emotionally finally won.
I'm a winner and I want to win, you know, but I finished 3rd and I mean, that's a great result. I gave 100% and there's no regret. You know, I'm not bitter about anything and I've learned a lot.
Next time on the Apprentice Asia.
Welcome to the most challenging interview of your life.
We relive the journey of our 12 candidates and witness the triumphs and failures that led Jonathan and Andrea to the final 2 as they prepare for the grand finale where only one will taste success.
I really hope I make it. I think I deserve it.
Fingers crossed, it's going to be me.
And win the dream job as the first ever Apprentice Asia.
Brought to you by IG, CFDs, and Forex Trading.